Hello, my name is Jane.
And I'm John.
We're here to talk about the things people like to forget.
The stories that vanish between court transcripts and concrete walls. The stuff they teach you to sanitize in school books.
Like what happens when justice gets mechanized, when mercy is stripped out, and electricity flows in.
This isn't easy to hear.
But it's harder to ignore.
Jane and John, Jane and John.
Let me take you back to the late 19th century. The world was transforming. Electricity wasn't just a novelty, it was revolution. Lights, factories, motors. And with this miracle of modern science came a dark question. Could we use this same force, this energy from the heavens to kill? That question took form in what we now call the War of the Currents. Edison, the so-called genius who gave us the light bulb, had a problem. His direct current system, DC, didn't travel far. Westinghouse-backed alternating current AC, which could stretch across entire cities, Edison was losing. So he started a smear campaign that only a rich white bastard could dream up. He began electrocuting stray animals in public demonstrations to prove AC was deadly. Dogs, calves, horses, even a circus elephant. Sick, right? And then he had the nerve to recommend AC for the electric chair, to make damn sure people saw it as the current of Delical.
And the state listened, because when white men want to play God, someone always bleeds. William Kemmler was poor, German-American, and drunk when he killed his partner Tilly Ziegler. Tragic, yes. But what the state wanted wasn't justice. They wanted a spectacle, a test subject. So they shaved his head, strapped him down like livestock, and hit him with 2,000 volts. And it didn't even work the first time. His heart kept beating. They had to hit him again. His body burned. His blood boiled. A witness fainted. A reporter threw up. But these smug bastards in suits called it science. Called it humane. This is what white America does. Dresses up cruelty in logic, wraps death in progress. Pretends it's for the greater good while frying people alive and calling it order. That's not civilization. That's barbarism with a patent. And it didn't stop with Kemmler. It was just the beginning.
After Kemmler, the chair spread like a damn disease. State after state installed their own version of it. They gave it names. Old Sparky, Yellow Mama, like naming your torture device somehow made it cute, as if the branding could cover up the smell of burning skin. But it was always the same script, same fire, same lies. The poor were strapped in, the broken, the black, and the white men judges wardens. Governors, they nodded and watched from behind glass, pretending this was duty. Let me talk about George Stinney Jr., a 14-year-old black boy from South Carolina. In 1944, two white girls, Betty June Binnicker and Mary Emma Thames, were found murdered. The town needed a culprit, and they picked George. No real evidence. No defense lawyer? No appeal. Just white folks with a thirst for blood and a system built to deliver it. The trial lasted barely 2 hours. The jury, all white. The deliberation, 10 minutes. Then they strapped this child to a chair made for grown men. His legs dangled, his head barely touched the cap. They used a Bible as a booster seat because even in death they needed the illusion of dignity. They flipped the switch. His body jerked, his teeth clenched so tight they cracked. Decades later, the court quietly admitted they were wrong. George was innocent. He didn't kill anyone. He was just a black child in the wrong place, under a white gaze. But it didn't matter, because he was already ashes by then, burned by the state, erased by history. John Coffey was fiction, a parable wrapped in fantasy. George Stinney was real, and we burned him alive anyway. This isn't justice. This is power showing its teeth. White power, mostly quietly dressed in uniforms and robes, holding clipboards, and pulling levers. And when the killing gets messy, they just blame the system. They say, it was legal. Fuck legality. Legality gave us slavery. Legality gave us Jim Crow. Legality gave us children in chairs too big for their bones. And it's not just America. Look around the world and you'll see every culture with its own signature of state violence. France kept the guillotine until 1977. That's the same year Star Wars came out. They dropped that blade on Hamida Gendoubi, a Tunisian man convicted of murder, clean maybe, but still medieval and still racial. The UK, they went for formality. The long drop, calculated to break the neck, precise, cold, British. But don't. Let the bow ties fool you. They hanged people like Ruth Elista, last woman executed there. A woman abused, gaslit, broken, executed anyway. The Soviets didn't need ceremony. They put a bullet in the back of your head. Fast, brutal, bureaucratic. One shot in a basement. Next file, next name, China-built vans for death-mobile execution chambers. Drive a prisoner in. Administer a lethal injection. Body out the back. Door, sometimes they harvest organs before the corpse cools. You think that's mercy? Iran. They still hang people in public, from cranes, Saudi Arabia, beheadings in the street, blood on the pavement, children watching. Just another Friday. And then there's North Korea, where they strap people to posts and fire anti-aircraft guns at them, turn bodies into mist. Not for justice, for fear, for obedience. We all have our rituals, our pageants of power, and we all lie to ourselves about what they mean.
And maybe the lie feels more comfortable because Hollywood wraps it in magic, like in The Green Mile John Coffey, played by Michael Clark Duncan. A black man, wrongly convicted, sentenced to die in the chair. A healer, a miracle. A man who resurrects a mouse, takes pain into himself, and cures disease. They gave him the traits of a saint, the wounds of a prophet. But here's the thing, Coffey was fiction, crafted by Stephen King, shaped for the screen. And yet we talk about him like he was real. We say his name more than George Stinney's. Tom Hanks plays the guard who knows it's wrong, David Morse. Too soft-spoken, ashamed, helpless. They all know it's murder, but they do it anyway. Cry. But they throw the switch. It's a parable. It's fantasy. But it's also real, because how many John Coffeys have we killed? Men with no one to protect them. Men who were innocent. Men who carried more mercy than the men who executed them.
The miracle mouse comes back to life. But the man we burn.
That's American theology. Save the pet, kill the prophet.
But it was never about the chair. It was about power, and the stories we tell ourselves to justify using it.
Kemmler, Stinney, Gendoubi, Ellis, countless others, sacrificed at the altar of law and order, burned, silenced, forgotten.
Justice isn't blind. It looks directly at the vulnerable and pulls the lever anyway.
So if you felt something hearing this, don't look away. Don't let it become noise.
Because mercy doesn't smell like burning flesh.
And justice doesn't strap a child or a saint to a chair too big for his feet.
Thanks for listening.